the Internet of Things. It's the IOT. I oughta. Sometimes you don't have a choice about separate beds, like the time I went to Birmingham, Alabama, which I did on purpose. You know, sometimes people are just passing through, sometimes people live there, some are born in Birmingham, Alabama, some achieve Birmingham, Alabama, some have Birmingham, Alabama thrust upon them. I don't know which one I was in. But you know, in the 80s, when people didn't really love cities so much in some parts of the world, like New York got that stuff out of its system, San Francisco, maybe LA, different parts of the US were not really sure about how they felt about cities and at different points kind of came to terms with it. Well, in the Southeast, they were doing things like Light Up Atlanta. David Cross does a great thing about that because he grew up outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and would say, and has this routine about, I lived in a city where, you know, they would turn on the lights downtown and people would wander around with the lights turned on, which is true. Birmingham had a thing that was called, I think, City Stages. It doesn't happen anymore, but it was a great music festival. They had a record label called Long Play Records. They represented some cool acts, including the Opal Fox group, Opal Fox Quartet, with Benjamin Smoke, and the Big Fish Ensemble, and a bunch of other things. So they knew people, and so my friend and I went down to Atlanta, and then we drove to Birmingham with her sister and her partner, and spent a weekend wandering around. Maria Muldaur sang Midnight at the Oasis and some other things on her little cul-de-sac stage, and there were other acts on little cul-de-sac stages, and then there was a big thing in a city park where Little Richard was the closer. Well, he might have been the closer, and then Billy Ray Cyrus was before or after him, so Achy Breaky Heart was a thing. Little Richard was doing his woo, so it's, you know, I know you're knocking, but you can't come in. I know you're knocking, but you can't go woo! Like, he would, like, not even finish the sentence because he had to do his woos. And then we spent the night before driving back, and then my friend and I were going to fly back to New York. I don't know how many people we had in a room, but it was a 1980s room, so there were 2 big queen or king beds, and then all this space. It was before the U.S. decided to have itsy-bitsy little European hotel rooms. My friend and I were on the floor with the bedspread from one of the beds, and then there were other people on another side of the room, and I think we might have had 8 people in one room. So no one had separate beds, and some of us didn't even have beds, but, you know, it was a nice thing, and it didn't really bother me the next morning when I was rubbing my achy breaky shoulder from having slept on it on a carpet in some hotel in downtown Birmingham after wandering around the cul-de-sacs of city stages.